Hey everybody, it's Clara Lawrence. Join me as I show you another way to get rid of these drips. This is a process to do after the drips have cured. Hang on. Hey everyone, this is Clara Lawrence. I've got another tip to helping you out with your pieces in the cleaning up process. So we did a tip before before you pour your resin. This is one for afterwards. So this has been a few weeks. It's definitely a hard cure right now on the drips. Notice the nice little colorful drips everywhere. And I want to take care of this nice and easy. I do this outside because I am going to be using a heat source and to prevent any additional health hazards with the fumes and stuff from heating up resin. That's just me. This trick will have a tendency to make a mess, so if you don't use my next favorite tool, which is a big box, lay down a really big drop cloth because it's going to send little bits flying. And you can see by the inside of my drop cloth, there's a whole bunch of these little drip bits caught inside there, and about maybe 3% will fly outside the box if your box is large enough. The other key part, I believe, is I cut a lip around the entire space of the box. This helps me keep my piece on here while I'm working and trying to remove the drips. But what it also does is I think it helps with the bounce factor when the drips go flying into the box. They kind of stay trapped a little bit. So that's a very, very helpful part of this process. The other helpful part is my handy heat gun. Now a lot of heat guns, this one happens to be my Black & Decker, which I've used, you could tell, well. A lot of heat guns will come with different attachments. This one I purchased it separately. A lot of them will come with some sort of flat blade attachment, like so. And I believe the source, and I might be wrong on this, I believe this is to help removal of wallpaper. So the heat obviously goes in through this area and goes along the area in which you're pointed. And it will heat up slowly and more intensely as you get to your point. So, and then the blade here, you just kind of guide it along and it helps remove the paper. Well, in essence, the same thing works with the resin. So when you're heating up resins are very easy to remove at that point. Now here's the trick for using this tool, is you want to put a little bit of pressure, but not a lot. If you notice, most of them will have a little splice on it. So it's not meant for you to like scrape and gouge into it. It's just meant for it to kind of glide across gently. So that's something that's very helpful. So let's get started and I will show you how this works. So the first thing we do is we gently slide this on. I mean, it's pretty simple on that part. And then I will kind of generally heat up an area first to get it started, only the first time, and then I'll kind of glide it across the top. So one more thing, the first one's always hard to get to because you kind of come at it at a sharper angle, but as you're going along, you'll change your angle so it's almost level with your board. Well, let me get down a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Almost level with your board here, horizontal. Parallel, that's the word. And I have my hand kind of open just to show you that I'm not doing a whole lot of pressure. And I'm backing up a little bit just to make sure that I'm in a good spot for the next little spot, or next little drip. Be mindful of your other hand. Most of your heat sources in this cone area, you should be okay back here, but just be mindful of it. You'll know when you're close. It'll talk to you. me and your hand will. Well, you can see it comes up pretty easy. And if you don't get it, you just smooth it along a little bit, and you can get the other little bits. And then I, of course, jump it in there. Now, this will show a little bit of what I'm talking about here. You can see that there's some fragments here, and there's some down on the table below, just a little bit minor. So it does make a mess. You have to be mindful of it. Like I said, huge drop cloth, not a small one. And be safe about the resin fumes when you heat them up. Now, if you notice there was a little bit of wood that started to peel up as I was pushing it along, I'll probably go back over that and sand it finely with, you know, 250, 400 grit sandpaper, depending on how smooth I want to get it. But that's it in a nutshell. So thanks for hanging around, and gotta get busy finishing up our pieces now. Bye. All right, I finished off my canvas, but I wanted to point out, once I turned off the camera and I finished it out real quick, that I naturally picked up the canvas and moved to this side. And then I noticed all the drips that were over here from me doing it earlier on camera, but when I was over here, they naturally fell into the box. So I want to point that out. If you're right-handed, you're gonna gravitate towards supporting it with your left hand and using the left edge, and it goes into here. If you're left-handed, you're gonna do obviously the reverse. So keep that in mind. It'll come to you naturally anyway. But whatever side your heat gun is on, that's the side usually where the drips end up falling. And just kind of guide your piece how you need to, and that'll help make the cleanup process a lot easier. So anyway, piece is all done. I'm going to give it a light sanding in some spots, very light, and then paint up the back and sign it up, and it's ready to go. Enjoy, have fun. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell button, and like the video if you enjoyed it. If you got any other cleanup tips that you want to leave in the comments, please do so. We got to help each other out on this process because we want to get to the fun, right? See you later.